everybody heard about the 12 Cupcakes franchise closing, but now they are in the news for the even more wrong reasons. In number one, they closed. And then number two,
abruptly.
Yes,
too.
correct. And now apparently, right, a lot of their staff were not paid for their last month of work, and they're just outside MOM saying that, hey, nobody told us, and then we didn't know until the liquidators come to us and say, hey, y'all, this place is now closed, y'all cannot work here anymore.
So Jin Yong just said to me, when you're ready, make the bird sound. Ooh, ooh, I'm ready, ooh.
Welcome to the Lao Jiaos Podcast. This is where we bring you unfiltered and unapologetic take on the news, current affairs, and all the things people pretend to understand. I'm your host, Jin Yong, and with me is fellow Lao Jiao, Ten Yang. How are you doing?
I'm pretending to understand everything that we're going to say today.
Actually, just before to give our viewers some context, just before we came on, right, he literally just asked me, what are the 3 news I cover? Then what for? I sent the Word document 2 days in advance.
A, I live my life in a constant mess. B, I don't read all my messages. So
okay.
I'm very sorry. I should really learn to read. Yeah. I'm really tired because I didn't. I barely rested this weekend. Test another car on test. Media, you can put in the picture. It's called a Hype Tech HT.
I saw that on Instagram.
HT. So the door, the gull wing, there's gull wing doors.
Correct.
So it goes up.
Correct.
So it's very cool. I picked up my friend from Cheongchin Nam, which is the Bukit Timah upper stretch. I raised the right rear door, and then the whole restaurant turned to look at us. We're like, what the hell is that thing?
My next segment is, although I just covered my segment last week, I just want to cover my own segment again, which is random facts, because I have a really, really interesting story that I wanted to share. This book is called Knife. Okay,
by Salman Rushdie.
Yes.
Wait, wasn't he the guy that the Iranians put a fatwa out against him to have him killed or something?
You are the first friend I know that actually knows about this. A lot of my friends, even those that are in literature students, they wouldn't know that he had a fatwa against him, which is what you said, the Iranian government actually literally declared bounty on him. A bit Star Wars-ish. But isn't that, well, I'm sorry, but isn't that common knowledge? Apparently not lah. Okay. And a lot of people would know him because he's one of the shortlisted people for the Nobel Prize for Literature this year. Okay, so to give our viewers a bit of context, Salman Rushdie is a writer. Okay, and in 1989, because of his book called Satanic Verses, where some of the stories inside the Muslim countries felt that he painted their belief in a very wrong light lah. And they were so angry that the Iranian government, like Ten Yang said, declared a fatwa on him, which is that Muslims can actually go hunt him down and kill him.
Which was nuts, I mean, seriously, imagine.
Correct.
Imagine having your own government say, okay,
exactly.
You are now, you're not even persona non grata.
Correct.
You are, that's nuts.
So he had to stay in his own house and couldn't step out of his house for fear of being killed, right? Until 1998, right, where the new Iranian president or prime minister actually sort of stepped back from his position by saying that, okay, we won't stop, but we won't push this fatwa any further lah. So the Western world saw it as a step back from the position, although they can't call off the fatwa. All along, right, he felt that this thing was over until 2022.
He was stabbed, right? Wasn't he?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. Yes. So in 2022, when he was preparing for a talk in New York, right, actually this Muslim activist, right, ran on stage and stabbed him, so many times, right? And he survived so much that he wrote a story about it. This story is called Knife.
I'm not going to pinpoint anybody, but in every religion, there are the fanatical ones. There are the lunatics.
Yeah,
there are the extremists.
He is now at the ripe old age of 78. Don't look like he is.
Salman Rushdie is only 70. I thought he was older.
他的命很硬 the Chinese say that his life very hard. Because now he go interview, right, he wears a patch here just because of the attacks.
The saying was suffering for their craft. He nearly died for his craft, for his, just everything lah. So surprised, until today Hollywood hasn't said, hey, let's make a movie about him. Maybe they've tried, but maybe Salman Rushdie is like I said again, could be worse. Could have been Shinzo Abe, who was unfortunately
he just died.
Assassinated. Yeah, dude, by a homemade shotgun. Hey, guns in Japan are like really rare. Just wackier things have happened, bro. But Salman Rushdie 真的是命很硬啊.
Before we get into our news episode, a word from our sponsor.
This episode of the Chit Chatter Podcast is brought to you by Gui Cafe. a cozy Korean-Japanese cafe that's all about coffee, meals, comfort. Located at 278 Southbridge Road, Gui Cafe is a charming escape from the bustle of the city. It is the perfect place to unwind and have a great time and just let conversations flow.
A signature dosirak rice box is a fan favorite. A golden Korean lunchbox filled with rice, a sunny side-up egg, kimchi, seaweed, and luncheon meat. Give it a shake before you dig in and shake your dosirak for that fun, satisfying mix that makes Gui Cafe unique. If you're in the mood for something lighter, they've got plenty of food for sharing, perfect for a chat over coffee or a quick catch up with friends. And don't leave without trying their Dalgona honeycomb coffee. Creamy, sweet, and just the right amount of indulgence.
So if you're looking for a space that serves up comfort and conversation, head down to Gui Cafe at 278 Southbridge Road. Once again, a big thank you to our friends at Gui Cafe for sponsoring this episode of the Chit Chatter Podcast.
And now, back to the episode. Our first news that we are covering today, I think this is all over Singapore. You won't miss this one. Is that, of course, number one, everybody heard about the 12 Cupcakes franchise closing. Okay, I think it's not big news. They have been in the news for all the wrong reasons before. But now they are in the news for the even more wrong reasons. In number one, they closed. And then number two,
abruptly.
Yes,
too.
Correct. And now apparently, a lot of their staff were not paid for their last month of work. And they're just outside MOM saying that, hey, nobody told us. And then, we didn't know until the liquidators come to us and say, hey, y'all, this place is now closed. Y'all cannot work here anymore. So they're owed CPF and their salaries for everything. So I just want to ask Ten Yang, what was your reaction when you heard about this news?
Everything was on the wall. Who was saying in the chat, every time you go to 12 Cupcakes, bo seng yi, bo lang, always the shelf all full one. But no one's buying their shit. I don't know. I never liked their stuff, even when it was owned by Daniel Ong and Jamie Teo. Daniel Ong sold it. Then they went after that. They had some HR issues with the improper payment or whatever nonsense. And then,
underpaid, yeah.
Yeah, both of them went to court for that shit. And then Daniel Ong also opened up his steakhouse, Dan Steaks. This reminds me of, remember the time, was it Agoda, when they said they also just let go of their people recently, a couple of months back only. Then they also handled it quite poorly after MOM stepped in hey, you guys get your shit together, that kind of thing.
Agoda is different. They said that they asked their staff to sign some NDA, say you cannot say about we let you go or whatever. I forget what is it, but this was really, I feel that they were blindsided. I feel that
unfortunately,
out of the worst, right? Singaporeans and PR is still not that bad in the sense that they could still stay in Singapore, they could still pray that one day MOM or whoever that chases after the liquidators or whoever can get money back for them. Those that are working on EXPATS and on those working permit, right?
Yeah, working permit.
They only got 1 month to so-called transit, and then they have to go back to their country if they cannot secure employment already. Then this kind of people, how they cannot owe money, then cannot find another job, and then they have to go back. If you want to close, right, then you have to be honest and tell people that, hey, we are closing, right? Give them a time, at least a few weeks, to say that, okay, now this is happening, what are you going to do next? If 80 turn up, I feel that there's a few hundred more that at home, I don't bother one,
shouldn't it be a warning to all these companies? You want to close, you want to shut down shop, do it properly, walao. Don't one day it's liquidators hi, I'm here to shut down your entire company, okay? You don't work anymore, bye-bye. It's
I really feel bad for these people because I feel that number one, very hard to chase back the money. Number two, right, even if you cannot chase back the money, right, you have to wait for a very, very long time. If it's a big company that bought over, right, they can play their lawyer with you, play I don't know how many years, I do feel that if anyone has a chance to be a business owner, just remember that not to do things like that. Because your staff, they are, they are the ones that make the business happen. Then you cannot just throw them out, literally throw them under the carpet kind of thing.
Under the carpet, under the bus, bro. It's pretty terrible. I saw one of the articles from the more international news outlets. What is it? Vin Express. They said former beauty queen Jamie Teo's 12 Cup formerly owned by Jamie Teo closes down, that kind of thing. They splash her name big. I was unfortunately, I think she and Daniel Ong's name will forever be intertwined with the whole 12 Cupcakes.
Correct.
Saga, correct. Unfortunately, no matter where it goes.
Guess the company from which country that bought these 12 Cupcakes over, they have this kind of shit handling of the thing.
Oh no, let me guess. Is it India?
Yes! So exciting! To pivot away from the bad news. Okay, I want to bring a slightly happier news, which is that actually a guy in Bedok recently filmed himself giving away packet food to a lot of to the painters that were painting his block because they could be seen like what do you call that?
I know what you're talking about, the whole thing that goes up and down.
Correct. Do you think this is a nice gesture, or do you think that this is all a bloody show?
Performative.
Oh, okay.
If you want to do a good deed, just do a good deed. Just, it's like, so I was like, so I'm trying to do the nice thing, be kind, be courteous, that kind of thing. Like, no, piss off. You want to do nice things. You want to you see all these foreign workers on a hot day, working in the hot sun to, do whatever they need to do, like maintaining our blocks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just give them a cold drink, buy them some food, buy them snacks. Don't need to post about it on social media.
In this case, because he's not an influencer or whatnot, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Like he's trying to record this out of like maybe he's a Gen Z and he thinks that it's fun. I'm okay with that. There are actually a lot of overseas influencers, okay, and maybe locally, that actually film a lot of these so-called quote-unquote good deeds. And then a lot of comments will be like, why are you filming yourself? Why are you filming these people if you are doing something good? Like, why can't you do like it like off camera, right? And then sometimes I can see a very common reason is that because this is the system, they want to get views, they get the money, and then they'll plow back into the goodness of the whole thing lah. Okay, so some will like do their own fundraising, and then they'll give the money to people, and then some will like say, oh, we have views, then I have the money, then I can continue buying food for homeless.
Okay, maybe the guy's not an influencer. That one maybe let it slide, that kind of thing. Roland Tay, that funeral director guy. It's been well known that if you're too poor, you're alone, or like if like some high profile case, he would gladly do your funeral for free.
The Huang Na funeral.
The Huang Na one was messed up, Yeah, he's given free funerals to like old people who are dead or who died alone, no family, no nothing. Yeah. Bro doesn't even crow about it. It's always the papers. Oh, this guy, he gives free funerals. The fellow is like walking to all his sokang, that kind of thing. He doesn't even crow about it.
No, in fact, the papers when they interview him, right, they also don't publicize this. They always say that, this is like successful businessman. He's sending over to his second generation, this kind of thing. It's always the people in the business that come and tell you that, hey, this is what they're doing. He doesn't like show it. He doesn't what. But actually, this is the kind of thing that, he does. Okay, on one side, I do see your point. If you want to do good, it should be out of the goodness of a heart. I also do feel that if the system works enough that, you can keep giving more, then why not support the system, right? So I feel that the key here is that really, right, the person doing the good, your own heart, is it really in the right place? I feel that that's the key. And this kind of thing is very hard to say whether or not they are doing this because they are trying to put out an act or whether they are trying to really help people. Because this kind of thing, only 天知地知你知我知, this kind. Okay, not even 你知. I think maybe sometimes 天知地知 and the person himself know only. Yeah, so I feel that this is a very, very gray area that very hard to pinpoint, because sometimes you see this person like, wow, do a lot of good, and suddenly next day in the media gonna slam and say like, wow, a lot of like dirty dirt like gonna dug out.
Okay, I think if you really want to go and publicize it, right, go and partner up with those larger organizations like Tai Hua Kwan, Willing Hearts, Beyond Social Services, the big ones, they really have a following. People know what they do. Make a big donation. I mean, tax deductible also, so it benefits you. Get these guys to, do the promotion, crow about it. Then maybe you want to just put, this was donated by Mr. Jin Yong, that kind of thing.
I really would like to believe that the person that filmed this giving packets of food, he really do it out of goodwill lah. And I really do oversee the fact that he filmed it. I really think that he's doing it like maybe just for fun, or like he thinks it's a good gesture. But I think in the grander scheme of things, it's important to know that we need to do this out of the goodwill of our heart lah. Not for like it's not for show, it's not for views and whatnot lah. I think
isn't that the NGO that isn't that as the NGO that focuses purely on all these foreign workers? It's Raining Raincoats. Is that the one?
I don't know leh. I know this kind of NGO exists, but I don't know the name. I would like to move on to our third news, which is I think it's a very interesting thing. Our senior minister Hsien Loong was actually in London at a conference, a think tank lah, and he made this very interesting comment about one of the important things that Singapore has to focus on is about balancing the need for foreign workers and professionals with the goal of maintaining social harmony. Actually gave some very interesting examples. He said, for example, right, some of these like richer or ultra rich people that come to Singapore, right? They cannot do things like, for example, speed in your very like expensive car down the road and let everybody hear you, this kind of thing. Do you feel that this is a legit issue that Singaporean will face, like about this kind of integration and about this kind of like richer and richer foreigners coming to Singapore and then have problems integrating to the Singapore society?
Hsien Loong said that in London, and then London, right, every certain months of the year, a lot of these rich Arabs, they'll fly in their supercars and then they'll park it on the streets of London outside certain spots like Harrods. And it's become like a prime expensive car spotting place and all, for all these like car spotters. Then you can see all the foreign plates and everything. So and then yes, they do make noise. Singapore, no, our laws here regarding cars are like a million times stricter, so I don't think you're going to see that anytime soon. But we both stay HDB estate, so I don't think it's really going to be an issue for us. But down like Orchard Road or maybe like the more upper class areas, like say Nassim or like Dempsey, like a kind of place, then maybe you will hear these kind of guys that are just, whacking it up and down the streets at night. Don't like the foreign workers, right? Blue collar, they are actually more cognizant of their actions. We already know that, okay, we're not exactly in the, the SES, we are like down. People already look at us with a certain stigma. So, and especially after Little India riot, I think they're all a bit, it's like, okay, we have to behave a certain way to not draw attention to ourselves. We want to be more, exuberant in our displays, go to perhaps Little India, Serangoon Road area to go and, because that one is like, the area is more accepted if you behave in a certain manner. But whereas with the ultra rich, they bring their shitty behavior from the motherland over to wherever they go. Unfortunately, they do come to Singapore, and then they think they can get away with it, which is the worst part.
To give Ten Yang's comment some context, right? I think the SMD was referring to the ultra rich, on quote say don't so hao lian, okay, which I think there is some sense to it. How do you say end of the day, if you don't manage this well, right, then the racial harmony or social harmony that we have prided ourselves in building like over the years, right, very easy to just gonna turn over this kind of things. Then all you need nowadays is just one comment or one incident, right? You post online, then it gets out of hand like damn quick.
You said this one comment, that kind of thing. It honestly reminds me of Little India riot. It happened to me when I was in NS. I was on duty ops room. I was comfortably in my ops room, away from the danger, away from all the lunacy. But when I saw the video footage of the ambulance literally set on fire and exploded, literally a chill ran down my spine. This is not happening. This like I was like, my incheck literally yelled at me. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Get back to work. We don't have time to whatever. I was like, it was nuts. That day was nuts. So like, if Lord help us all, if there's a second spark, because I don't want that to happen. Singapore has built up this whole racial harmony thing for decades and decades. It's what our founding father, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, has banged on all the way until the day he died.
When the Little India riot happened, right, because I was still an NS man then, my unit was on standby. And can I tell you, like, my boss literally shrink when like the army chat shared this news. Like, we were so worried that we were gonna activate it, because this is, how do you say, we go through NS not thinking that it will be activated for anything like serious. But this was the first time I really feel that, fuck, would they really activate us or not? It really starts from something small. And if you don't address it, right, then it gets bigger. Then it gets very, very scary.
One fact about Little India, right, you go and Google the pictures of Little India, right, you notice some of the police, the shield, it says police, right, like that. Then you notice some of the shield, the police word is upside down. I remember the Crime Watch, the officer who hosted it. Can't remember his name now. But back during the Little India riot, because he was the highest ranking officer on the scene, so all the officers naturally they referred to him as like, sir, what do we do, that kind of thing. So because the rioters, they threw like rocks and bottles and God knows what else. Actually, some of the shields actually broke. That's why they had to flip it around. At least you protect the face, your leg kena pain but better than your face kena, that kind of thing. I actually asked him, it's like, sir, did you actually consider using your firearms that night? He said, yes, we did. I did consider it. We also did consider it. And then, but the thing is that as police officers, we only carry 10 live rounds.
Yeah.
For every one of our shots, it must count. We must hit someone, it must take them down. That night, before SOC arrived, it was only so many of us, and there were a lot of them. So
correct.
Imagine if they hear a gunshot in their enraged, in their crazed, in their uncontrollable state. God knows what will happen. There's a lot of what ifs, that night. Yeah. There's a lot of what ifs.
He is right to address this issue, but I also think that this is something very, very difficult to tackle because you are talking about people from very different cultures. You're talking about people from very different SES status. And I think that different cultures, different people, different SES status, they behave very differently. I think you ask people to practice caution or practice humbleness or humbly or whatever you call it. I think it's very, very difficult. I feel that, this is one of the most difficult things to ask people to do because this is really your own upbringing and your own, what you think you should do.
Or Singapore government can do what it does best. Institute fines law.
Fine.
How they made all of us return our trays at the hawker center.
Yeah, fine. Yes.
Fines. So that works. The sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. So
before we end the whole podcast, we will just have to go with a round of quick fire news for the Alamak meter.
Yes, my favorite section, Alamak meter.
Yes, I just want you to rank whether it's smart, it's dumb, or just plain Alamak. Okay, so the first news was actually provided by Tan Yang himself, which is the Malaysian BN politician relieved of duties after ex-wife's explosive allegations of a sexual nature.
I remember I read the article, I just laughed the whole way, Crazy, that was nuts, I think we know the answer to that one.
3 men were fined for mocking the police on crime scene. I feel this is damn stupid.
Oh, that one, right? The one they tried to walk through the crime scene, right?
Yeah, they say, I show you what a police is 300%. I don't understand why the need to mock them.
It's very racially charged. Let's not go there.
The last news about a man runs 1.5 km naked after crashing motorbike into taxi. I don't know why he knew to run naked. He can just run.
The one at Bendemeer, right? Is it?
Yes.
Last year. So was he naked before on the bike or
after? So he crashed and then he ran naked. I don't know why.
So he took off all his clothes.
Apparently so.
I don't think this week there's a smart one for any of this.
It's just dumb or Alamak.
The naked one, I think they are Alamak.
Alright, that was our Lao Jiaos podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please remember to like and subscribe. We have an episode that comes out every Friday. But at the same time, if you're on football with a football kaki that drops every Wednesday, and our Kopi Road show where we interview fun and amazing guests from around Singapore every Monday. Now, we hope that everyone has a great week ahead. But remember,
we don't always talk cock. Or maybe we do. I talk cock.